this is Christy, Salty Stitcher. My company is Salty Stitcher Designs, and this is Floss Tube 41. It is the 30th of May. It is Memorial Day here in the United States. So it is a federal holiday for me. So I have the day off, and I thought I would join you today for not only a floss tube video, but I also just finished videoing my first stitch with me. So I was pretty excited about that. I have a new camera, overhead camera with a setup, and I tested it out with my first stitch with me. So if you're tuning in, you've probably already seen that in the list of new videos. So please come and join me. I talk a little bit about why I cross stitch, how I got started. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. And instead of going all the way back to floss tube number 1, which is a little bit rocky to say the least, you'll get a sense of who I am and why I cross stitch with the Stitch With Me video. So again, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please maybe like and subscribe if you like what you see. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get to it here. I have a doozy of an episode for you today. I have a new finish, which I just remembered I need to go grab. I have a few whips to show you. We're going to go through WIPGO, May's WIPGO, and then also what I plan to stitch in June. We're going to talk a little StitchCon, and I'm just looking down here at my pile of projects, and we're just going to go through a bunch of whips. I have a bit of a shop update at the end, and I also have some plans. Yeah, so stick around. It's going to be a pretty good one, I think. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to go with is my finish and my fully finish object. So stand by, let me go get that. Okay, I'm back. So my finish and my fully finished, which I am super excited about, is Moonlight Sail. Some of you may have seen this as a sneak peek a little bit, maybe in the last video I may have done a sneak peek. But here is the fully finished object. Moonlight Sail is 107 stitches by 128 stitches. It uses 7 DMC colors, a few, or just one étoile, and then some DMC variations. It is stitched on 28 count linen. And it is in the color Bang. It's a casual linen by Crosswing Collection, and I purchased this from Garon Stitchery. If you're familiar with Poltergeist Pirates, that chart, this is the same fabric. So I really love the hand-painted stars, and I thought it was perfect for this particular design. So you have the clouds and you have the moon reflecting off the ocean. And you just have, I like to think it's a woman sailing her boat and just enjoying the full moon while standing watch. So this is a brand new design. This will be released sometime between StitchCon and Needlework Expo. So if you want to stitch the Moonlight Sail, go ahead and let your local needlework shop know. It'll also be available through Yarn Tree as well as a distributor. So yeah, let your needlework shop know, and we'll be able to get some pre-orders out here in the next few months. But I'm really thrilled to finish this particular model stitch. I finished We the People, and I think I may have shown that on my last floss tube video, but that also, well, more on that later, more on where my designs will be and where they're going and why I do not have We the People to show you in person. So more on that. So that's my only finish and my only fully finished. Well, I lie. I have two other fully finished, but they're for the StitchCon smalls. So my mom is joining me for StitchCon, and she was a little hesitant. She doesn't like to work on too many projects at the same time. So I told her I would help her out and stitch her small for her for the smalls exchange. So I have two finishes, but I'm not going to show them right now. If you're going to StitchCon, you'll be able to see. I've taken some pictures of them. So maybe in my next Floss 2 video after StitchCon, I'll be able to show that. Okay, what have I been working on? So I'm just going to go right into WIPGO. So for May's WIPGO, for May's WIPGO, Jessie Marie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff called 8, 13, and 14. So number 8 is my lions. So this is my WIPGO board. It's a little busy, but I've shown it a few times. So number 8 are my lions, and I'll show those more closely. Number 13 is the free space. So I was going to design projects. That was a free space for me to do a little designing. And of course, the image in the center, since I hadn't designed anything, is one of my favorite pictures from Outlander. And I think this was an Entertainment Weekly magazine image, one of my favorites. It's gorgeous. But this was my free space, and I chose to use my free space to do a little bit of designing some full coverage projects, which I'll show you. And then 14, which is also the lion. So I have my free space surrounded. There we go, without the glare. I have my free space surrounded by the lions because my goal is to finish the lions by the end of the year. So my goal also was to, for each block that's called, to put 1,000 stitches in the project. So for the lions, I needed to put 2,000 stitches in the lions, and I did indeed meet that goal roughly halfway through the month. So I probably could have gotten a little bit more aggressive with it, but I chose to go ahead and continue some of my model stitches. So let's see, let's pull this apart a bit and show the lions. Okay, so this is where I'm at with the lions. This is the full view. This is about 36 inches by 24 inches. It is a huge piece. Some of you know the story behind it, but if you're new to my channel or just joining midstream here, the lions was a picture that I took while on safari in South Africa, and my husband dared me to stitch it. And this is my first full coverage project. It's on 14 count Aida. I'm using 3 strands of DMC for the coverage, and I'm loving how this is coming out. You have one lion up here, first lioness, you have the second lioness. This is the body of the third, and I'm working on the face of the third lion, and then there's a lion lounging behind them. So there's actually 4 lions here, but you can't really see the 4th one just yet. So zooming in here, so each page is about, each page is about 9,400 stitches. The way I have it charted, and I am almost halfway done with the page. So I'm almost probably about 4,000 stitches into this page. My goal was to get to 2,000 stitches, which I accomplished. So I'm plugging away. I will probably bring this project to StitchCon because it's a fantastic conversation piece. everyone loves looking at the lions, and I can probably stitch on this at night. Might be a little bit easier. There's a lot of confetti right now. So it's not the best project to bring to StitchCon, but everyone wants to see it and it's a fan favorite. So I will bring that. So that was the lions. And then my second, as I mentioned, I did a little bit of designing. That was for my free space. And I designed four, or rather I have 4 new full coverage pieces in my Etsy shop. The first one is baby pineapple. I'm not terribly creative with my naming conventions, but so we have baby pineapple. The stitch count is 177 by 198. It uses 120 DMC colors. And that is the baby pineapple. So this chart was inspired by a pineapple that I decided to grow. So my husband lived in Hawaii for a little bit, and I took a pineapple and looked up on YouTube how to grow my own pineapple, and went ahead, planted it, and 2 years later we finally have the pineapple. So, but unfortunately we had to move from Hawaii before we could eat the pineapple. So our friends, we gifted it to our friends, and our friends really enjoyed the one pineapple. So anyway, this is baby pineapple. This is the reds are just so gorgeous. I'm not sure the picture does it justice, but it is a fun little stitch if you want to dabble in some full coverage. The second one that I designed is the Boca Chica Lighthouse. This is in Key Biscayne, Biscayne Bay in Florida. The stitch count is 328 stitches by 251 stitches. It's 138 DMC colors. I used to visit this lighthouse as a child and go to Boca Chica Key and go camping. It was a wonderful spot. My sister and I used to climb the palm trees, climb to the top of the lighthouse, and just in general, just have a really fun time. So this is the Boca Chica Key. It's I ran it through a filter, so it has a watercolor look to it. There we go. Watercolor look to it. Has a couple palm trees, and this is just the approach to the harbor when you come through the final set of buoys. Into Boca Chica Key. My third design is just the shell. Stitch count is 157 by 125, 97 DMC colors. And I took this picture of a shell while in Australia in February. There was a shell and a starfish just sitting in on the sand. And it was absolutely gorgeous. And this is just a close-up of the shell. So really, really love the colors in this, really love the sand. And it was just a fantastic find and a beautiful picture. So I thought I'd make it into a cross stitch pattern. And then the final full coverage that I've recently added to my Etsy site, it's called Roo. It is a picture of a kangaroo that I took the picture at one of the wildlife sanctuaries in Tasmania. But the pattern, stitch count 257 by 253. It uses 73 DMC colors, which is pretty modest for a full coverage. And this is the picture of the Roo. He was just sitting there taking a nap. We had, before he laid down and I took this picture, my husband and I were able to hand feed him in the sanctuary. And he is just so content there. So I love the expression on his face. I love his little kind of tooth sticking up. I don't know if you can see it. But he's just a happy kangaroo. And I really loved capturing this image. So if you want to stitch the roo, these are all in my Etsy shop. So that that takes care of WIPGO or WIPGO for May. And I'll just roll into WIPGO for June. So Jessie Marie just called the WIPGO numbers for June on the 27th of May. And she called 9 and 16. So 9 and 16. So 9 for me is Ink Circles, Big Red Ship of Life. There we go. And then 16 is O Feathers down here. So let me show you where I am with those. Here is O Feathers, because that's the first one I could grab. I'm kind of all over the place with O Feathers. I started at the top and I've just kind of been working randomly across. So this is the close-up of the chart. It's a Rosewood Manor chart. And I'm right here. I mean, it is a very fun stitch. I just haven't put as many stitches in it as I've wanted to. There we go. So I'm pretty excited to put a bunch of stitches in O Feathers. And then, oh, and I'm using a Zweigart Vintage Blue Whisper Linen 32 count. And I sourced that from Garon Stitchery. So if you haven't seen Garon Stitchery, Stitchery's online store, go ahead and check them out. They're fantastic. They ship really fast. Yeah, and they're just all around amazing. So go ahead and check them out. Okay, and Ink Circles, Big Red Ship of Life. So I know you are familiar with Big Red Ship of Life, but this is the pattern. I'm stitching it on a 40 count Zweigart linen, and I'm using Silks for You threads. And this is where I am. I'm not sure I've put any stitches in since the last YouTube video, but I really enjoy this. So the fact that it was called this month, I'm really jazzed and ready to put a bunch more stitches in it. So my conversion for Big Red Ship of Life is, so most of it will be red. The ship will be in gold and the sea creatures will be in blue. And I believe the waves will be in blue as well. So that is the conversion. I can't wait to show you how far I get at the end of this month. So that is WIPGO. I do not plan to bring these particular projects to StitchCon with me. So StitchCon I'm going to weekend A. There are 2 weekends. Going to weekend A, which is the 9th through the 12th. I'll be leaving on the 8th and returning on the 13th. And my mom is coming with me, so I am very excited. Very excited about that. StitchCon. So while we're on the subject of StitchCon, there are some people who have posted some helpful hints and tips. If it's your first time heading to StitchCon, first of all, you're going to have a fantastic time. And then also don't fret too much about what to pack, what not to pack. Bring a few projects that are easy to work on. Sometimes people choose to bring a lot of projects and complicated projects. It's probably not the time to work on a complicated project with a lot of confetti or something with a lot of counting. Because you'll be talking to people, there'll be a lot going on around you. And at least in my experience, I made a few errors just because there was just so much. There was a lot of starting, stopping. So bring some easy projects, bring some projects that have a bunch of fill-in to do, easy to count, things like that. I also brought down a few of my favorite things to take with me to StitchCon. So if you need extra light, certainly bring extra light, but sometimes there's not a lot of outlets to go around, and typically don't want a lot of extension cords just because of the slips, trips, and falls. So what I like to bring is a halo battery. You can do a lot of things with it. You can see the jumper cables. Obviously, we're not jumping a car, but we are charging phones. We're charging lights. We're powering lights. So this is always great to have, and it typically lasts a long time. So you can always charge it halfway through the day, but it should last you a pretty long time. It should power a light in your phone and other things. So the Halo is kind of a fan favorite. And yeah, I'm not bringing the jumper cables, but I am bringing, you know, the wall adapter, the carrying pouch, some of the USB cables that come with it. So this is always a good thing to bring. And I'm not sponsored by them at all. This is just something I like to take with me. The other thing I have is a portable light. So I have my big magnifier, my big light next to my stitching space, but I also like to have a portable light and and magnifier with me. Some people have special glasses. I mean, there's all kinds of things, but this is just what I prefer. So I prefer the Bright Light View Pro Flex. It's not too terribly heavy. It can sit right on top. It can plug into my Halo. And even if I don't use the light source, I have the magnifier. So this is just easy to stick right into my luggage. So I like to bring that. And then everything else, if you forget something, you know, very close to Walmart, close to Target, and there will be ample opportunity to head over to Keepsakes if you forget something stitching related, like needles, fabric, thread, anything else stitching related you might need. Pretty easy to go ahead and get those. So those are just the two things I don't head to a retreat without. So bring phone chargers too, if you have them. Bring, you know, batteries with your phones if you need to charge it. A lot of people like to take a bunch of pictures and videos, and if you're that person, bring some batteries to charge your phone as well. Okay, what have I been working on? So once I finished WIPGO, I had an opportunity to work on a few of my other projects. The first one is a new design. I know I've showed this to you before, and if you watched my stitch with me, you have seen it. This is my Quaker sailboats. It is a new design alongside the Moonlight sail. And I should really pull the stitch count for you. So it is 126 stitches by 136 stitches. I am stitching it on a 36 count linen, and this is how far I am so far. So I've done the top wording, I've done the clouds here in the corner, and I have the outline of the sailboats. And I'm working on the sail now. It is charted in DMC thread, but I am stitching it in color and cotton. The color and cotton, some of it you can purchase, and others are, I think, exclusive to the thread of the month. And of course, this is a model stitch, so all of that is all of that is subject to change, but here are all of the colors that I'm playing with, color and cotton colors that I'm playing with right now. And then obviously the conversion to DMC will be there, but yeah, I'm really enjoying this stitch. It's probably going to be the focus of my Stitch With Me, and it is one of the projects I am taking to StitchCon with me. Moonlight Sail and Quaker Sailboats, they will be available sometime between StitchCon and Needlework Expo in August. They are my new designs, and if you're watching my video, you get a sneak peek into the new designs. If you want to stitch either of them, please let your local needlework shop know. You can shoot me an email as well, and I will be sending them to Yarn Tree once they are finished. The second thing I've been working on are my temperature patterns. The first one is by Apricot Polkadot. I am stitching this on a 32 count linen. I think it's a mystery linen. Oh, that's funny. I was just staring at it because I think I started off using 2 threads and then I shifted to 1 thread. So it has this 3D look, which is fine. So here is Apricot Polka Dot. I'm not going to show you the pattern, but each day is a 5x5 square. You start in the middle and you just circle out. So this, the temperature is for Southern California. I live in San Pedro, which is in Los Angeles, but closer to the water. So very stable temperatures. It's greens and yellows always in the 70s there. The reds are 80 degrees, sometimes 90 degrees, but there we go. Yeah, I think there's just going to be in Southern California, it's just going to be a lot of greens and yellows here. So this is through mid-May. So I do need to catch up the rest of the month of May, but this is through mid-May and I love the way it's coming out. My second temperature chart is, this one is for my husband. He lives in Australia, lives and works in Australia. And so I did I guess I would call it a combination pattern. Stitch Mommy designed a pattern with some hot air balloons, and my husband lives in the Northern Territory, so we are going to visit Ularu or Ayers Rock. So I decided to have Stitch Mommy's pattern temperature of hot air balloons, temperature pattern of hot air balloons hovering over Ularu. And this is where I am so far. So because there's Ularu, I need to finish Ularu. I have the baskets and I've started stitching the hot air balloons. So because they are in the Southern Hemisphere, they are in fall right now. They were in summer and they're in fall. So you have all the way through mid-May there, and you could see it's starting to get a little cold. So they were in summer, and now they're transitioning to fall. So we're getting a few more blues and greens. So the reds in this particular pattern, I'm using the hot conversion or the hot temperature palette. So the reds here and magentas are pretty much over 100 degrees. And now we're down in the 60s, maybe the 70s. With some of those blues. Yep, so I really enjoy this pattern. I'm going to try and take this with me on my next trip to Australia, finish up, because we are going to Ularu for that trip, finish up Ularu, and just add to the, keep adding to the temperatures. So that has been fun. And then let me put this over here. And then finally, one of my last whips is the Snarky and Modern Embroidery and the Steady Thread collaborated for the Hexagon Stitch Alongs for 2022. This is a fun little stitch. It's my first introduction to some black work. I'm going to take this out of the hoop for you. I'm stitching this on 16 count Aida. It's hand dyed by the Steady Thread. And I have through week 18. So now we are on week 19 or week 20, I should say, but I have not stitched it yet. But each week we get a new hexagon. Each week we get a new hexagon. And so this is 18, 19, and 20. This week I plan on stitching that a little bit later on this afternoon. But this is the blackwork design. This is a SAL. You can donate a free SAL if you belong to the group, and you can donate some money for the design, and then obviously you can purchase the kit, which is what I chose to do. So I'm really enjoying this. I mean, obviously there are an infinite amount of designs that you can create, but I'm just really enjoying all the different designs. That's one more time. Okay, and then so that is my stitch along, and then finally, go grab this. Finally, I'm working on a baby blanket, and this is a crochet baby blanket for a friend who is having a baby. I can't remember if I showed this on my last video. I have not. I put a few stitches in, but I'm you know, nothing fancy here. I'm just a double crochet kind of gal. So if I really just need to tune out, not think, and just do double crochet, this is the project I grab, and it's just a beautiful, I don't know whether she's having a girl or a boy, so I've chosen a very neutral color palette. It's nice cream color, has specks of blue and purple and orange and yellow. Yeah, so I have a couple inches, maybe about 4 to 5 inches done of the baby blanket. So the thread that I'm using is I don't know how to pronounce it, but it is a yarn lane thread. This is what it looks like. It is a medium weight, so number 4. And I'm using an H hook for crochet. And again, it's an acrylic and polyester thread, so it feels really soft. Feels exactly what you think a baby blanket should feel like. So yeah, it's a Loops and Threads brand. Trying to find the color is Seafoam. It says Seafoam, but then it also says Sweet Cream. Okay, well, anyway, I may bring this with me to work on the plane a little bit, but it's kind of bulky, so it depends on how much space I have. So that is, those are my whips. Let's see, I do have some fall, but I'm going to pause the video here just for a second. Okay, I'm back. I'm a little bit more organized here. Okay, so what am I bringing to StitchCon? So I am going to bring my Quaker sailboats. I just showed you that pattern. I am also going to bring my nautical sampler to work on, because I really need to finish these before Needlework Expo. So this is the nautical sampler. I am working on a few gifts, and one gift I'm working on for Aunt Judy is the We Believe Sal by the Notorious Needle. So I'm sure you're familiar with this pattern. These are just a few of the motifs. And I didn't pull this out of the Q-snap, but I'm up to Love is Love, and I am working on the All Bodies Are Beautiful block now. So I will be taking that with me. That is a fairly easy stitch, and I think I can possibly finish it. I am bringing my Seaside sampler, Rosewood Manor, for a StitchCon start. This is with Pam and Steph. So Pam has purchased this pattern and kitted it as well from Rosewood Manor. And I've kitted it with the called for Greenway silks. So gorgeous, a gorgeous pattern right up my alley, and I will at least put a few stitches in that. And then finally, I am going to try my hand in embroidery and learn a few new stitches. So I have a friend who is moving out of town, and I am stitching Water by Kathy Reese. It's a Needlework Delights original, and it is absolutely beautiful. It comes with the embroidery canvas, and I purchased the kit, so it comes with the Vineyard silks. Look at those colors. So I'm going to try my hand in some embroidery and learn a few stitches. So that is what I plan to take to StitchCon with me. And I'm going to go right into some haul here and then shop updates. So if that's not your thing, thank you for joining. Please like and subscribe. But if you are into looking at some haul and into some shop updates, go ahead and hang out with me for a few more minutes. So the first thing I received is my Color and Cotton Fabric of the Month. It's the color, this is the May 22 Fabric Club. I think everyone has received it. So hopefully I'm not spoiling you, but it is a Newcastle 40 count. It's a 1/4 of a yard, and it is colorway patina. It is this nice blue, which is absolutely gorgeous. And then I also received the Color and Cotton Thread Club for May 22. And there are a couple colors: tomato, confetti, and egg yolk. And these are the colors, which they're nice and bright, which is how I like them. So I'm going to add them to my collection. I get the bright and variegated thread of the month. So I'm pretty excited with that. I also ordered, I was lucky enough to score a few Garon tote bags. This one has the airplanes on it. It also has the compasses on the inside, which has Maritime Academy on it. So I really like this bag, and I was so excited to be able to get this particular bag. I think I missed the bag sale on Saturday, but there was some of this left. So Ronnie, you outdid yourself on this bag as always. So thank you so much for that bag. I think my embroidery project is going to go into that bag. And then I also bought the smaller bags in the same one. I bought 2 of these, one for me and one for my husband. So just a little love token from him. I think he'd really like this bag. So I have 2 of these for him, or one for me and one for him. So really excited about that. That's about all of the haul that I have. And okay, I'm going to move into some shop updates. Here I have, I showed the 4 new full coverage projects. So if full coverage is your thing, go ahead and visit my Etsy shop. I have a bunch of full coverage in there that are inspired by my travels. And then I also have more thread packs in stock for the sea turtle, my Hawaiian sea turtle. So the thread packs, I have a thread pack here. So if you're going to StitchCon weekend A, there will be some thread packs for each of these designs there, but I do have some spare here. So if you're interested in the thread pack for the Hawaiian sea turtle, these are sulky thread packs, go ahead and email me. I don't put these on my Etsy shop just because Etsy just take the fees, or they just kill me, and I end up not making any money off of these thread packs. So if you're interested in a thread pack, go ahead and email me and I can sell them to you directly without Etsy kind of taking a massive cut of it. I would just have to raise the price, and that's not fair to you. So go ahead and email me if you want these. These are also available at Garon Stitchery too. So if you want a thread pack, couple ways to get it, email me. Check it out at StitchCon Weekend A in the kind of satellite shop that'll be set up, or go to Garon Stitchery online. They have them for sale. So I also have extra now for the Christmas crab pattern. So these are also a nice sulky thread pack for the Christmas crab patterns. And even if you're not stitching this pattern, I just love these sulky threads. So you have a nice red, a deep blue, and you have some variegated blues and some neutral colors in there. So this is a fantastic thread pack. So again, you can email me for this thread pack. I have a few extra here. You can go to Garon Stitchery to purchase it. You can also keep an eye out for it at StitchCon. And then finally, I wanted to highlight some scissor fobs that are on my Etsy site. These are wonderful summer scissor fobs, and they will be going on sale. By the time I post this video, they will be on sale for summer. And I know it's not the official beginning of summer, but it's getting a little warm here in Los Angeles, so I'm pretty excited for summer. The sun's been out. So this is the first one. This is a beautiful scissor fob with some purple and blue shells with a nice big lobster clasp on it. We have sea glass. This is really nice. These are really bulky and heavy, which is nice. They're sturdy, I should say, not bulky and heavy, but they're kind of sturdy. And the sea glass colors are just gorgeous. And then we have one with some starfish and a shell. Real fun, classic beads. And then my favorite is the sea glass with the sea turtle on it, and then with the shell at the bottom. This is beautiful. This is by far my bestseller. Oh, sea turtle. So head on over to my Etsy shop if you want any of these scissor fobs. Again, they will be on sale here by the time this video is posted. So those are all of the shop updates, and I think that's all for my video this week. Thanks for joining. Check out my Stitch With Me also. And it's my first attempt at Stitch With Me. If you have any questions for me, feel free to go ahead and ask them in the comments. Leave me a comment, and I'll probably answer all of the questions in my next Stitch With Me. So thanks for joining. And if you're heading to StitchCon weekend A, look me up, stop by the table and say hi. So thanks for spending some time with me, and we'll see you next time. Bye.